And MU was very heavily bullish on creating your own thing, and I always wanted to build something. So that's why I chose MU over ISB and other IIMs.
Here, apart from your in-class activities that you do traditionally in any other IIM or ISB for that matter, here you're also working on your out-class challenges, right? For example, in term 1 we had a dropshipping challenge, which is wherein you basically have to source products, right? Any products, and build a dropshipping business of your own. So we also have the concept of one-day challenges, which is nothing but wherein MU within your assignments for any subject collaborates with an organization, right, and helps you or makes you solve that real problem, right? Instead of maybe creating a case themselves.
My expectation was like a world-class education, world-class professors, also who are sourced internationally. So we have some faculty from NASA's Dr. Ed Rogers. Then we have the world's expert, Dr. Garrett, who comes from America to teach cryptocurrency.
Guys, I'm in Masters Union today and I have two students with me, Mithil and Ritik. So, इनकी पूरी जर्नी पूछेंगे. अगर आप ये वीडियो देख रहे हो तो of course you might want to know कि what does Masters Union provide to me जो other schools provide नहीं कर रहे हैं, what is the admission process like, कैसे students select होते हैं, placements कैसा है, सब कुछ हम इसमें cover करेंगे. So first of all, glad that you came in this video, Mithil and Ritik. And मुझे आप ये बताओ first of all आप अपना background हो थोड़ा कि आप Masters Union से आने से पहले what was your profile and what was the process like, how did you get to know about this college because it's fairly new.
Right. So, hi guys. My name is Mithil. I'm a Gujarati, born and brought up in Maharashtra.
Where are you from exactly?
From Nagpur.
Okay.
Right. And I completed aerospace engineering from Jain University in Bangalore. And post which I was working in Bangalore itself in tech companies. Started in startup companies as sales associate, and in I think around for 3.5 years. Post which my last working experience was as a business development manager in Scalar Academy.
So you're proper sales and business development,
Right,
marketing
absolutely.
in a way, marketing work
Right.
experience.
Plus, I've also been an edtech founder as well, where I took an early exit. Right. And regarding Masters Union, I mean MBA करने का हमेशा से plan था. I always planned to do an MBA, but Masters Union was very fairly new, and the concept was very lovely, right? And I wanted to build very strongly in it. And one of my friends suggested that, apart from traditional IIMs, there's ISB and then there's Masters Union as well. So that is where I came through.
तो आपने कौन-कौन से मेन एग्जाम्स लिए थे, अगर कैट लिया था तो उसका स्कोर भी बता दीजिएगा. एंड देन योर एक्सपीरियंस, हाँ, कि आपने कैट का क्या परसेंटाइल था, फिर आपने क्या 20 को कन्वर्ट किया मे बी, एंड देन नाउ दैट यू आर हियर, व्हाई डिड यू चूज मास्टर्स यूनियन?
Right. So I got around 96.36 percentile in CAT.
Great.
Right. And I also gave GRE. I got around 321, and I was planning to apply abroad as well. Right. So I gave IELTS. I got around 8.1 bands out of 9, and I converted all the baby IIMs like IIM Nagpur, Amritsar, Jammu. Right. Apart from that, Lucknow I was waitlisted. I converted ISB as well.
You converted ISB's
Yes.
1-year MBA program.
Right.
Wow.
And I chose MU because I applied here last year, right? And I didn't get selected, to be honest, but it was more of a dummy attempt, right? And and MU was very heavily bullish on creating your own thing, and I always wanted to build something. So that's why I chose MU over ISB and other IIMs.
तो आप जैसे आपने बताया कि last year you were not selected, so
Yeah.
what do you think was different in this application, in this year's applications, so that people get to know कि किस लिए
Right.
उनका selection हो सकता है?
So when I applied last year, I had a very mixed profile, right? I was not exactly sales and marketing centric, right? So now, so when I got rejected, I realized that I need to build my profile in a certain way for a B school to take me, right? So now I went to a major company like Scalar Academy. I built a proper profile in sales. I understood what kind of selling is there, right? Interacted with a great deal of IT professionals and understood what metrics do I need to build the actual profile for a B school. And then I applied with proper preparations this year. Plus last year was more of a dummy attempt because I just decided I wanted to do CAT and I gave 1 month of preparation. I gave CAT then as well. I got around 81.8 percentile in 2023, and since the result is so descriptive, then I took my time for 1 year, and now I knew where I had to prepare, right? Which section was the worst. Like I knew that DLR was something which is not strong, so I prepared very heavily on that.
So your CAT score was also better, or maybe that's also one reason that.
Yeah, I mean, even the CAT attempt was a very dummy attempt for me. I just wanted to see how much water I am in right now, right? And I got a deeper understanding of where I lack. And while I was working in Scalar, I prepared very heavily on the scene.
Great. Could you talk about your journey, Ritik, and which exams did you take? What was your percentile? Which B schools that you did not join to join Masters Union?
Sure. Hi. So, hi, I'm Ritik. My background is basically that I did my undergrad from Hansraj College back in 2021. It was a commerce major.
तो आप दिल्ली से ही हो?
Yeah, exactly. So, born and brought up here only, right? So, I've been here. And yes, post which I did consulting with Red Seer strategy consultants for about 18 months. And yeah, then decided to do some strategy ops to get some on ground experience, which is wherein I joined Urban Company, worked with them in their full home cleaning category. So, help them build their supply side and solve supply side problems there. Right. And post which I knew that I had to do an MBA, right? And primarily I wrote CAT. I also had in mind that I wanted to write GMAT, but the bandwidth with work while working is slightly not there with you in terms of timelines. So I forego GMAT this year. I thought I'll maybe just give CAT a proper shot, which is wherein I wrote CAT, got a 98.07 percentile in CAT, right? And much like Mithil, I also had few IIM offers, right? So Lucknow was waitlisted by the time I had joined, right? I had converted IIM Shillong, Udaipur, and other baby IIMs as well.
So why did you join Masters Union, leaving these IIMs?
So
primarily you didn't have too much work ex. You could have joined these B schools.
Correct. So primarily, I think I still had a sweet spot in terms of work ex for IIMs, right? But what drove me towards Masters Union was one, so I got to know about Masters Union from one of the friends who was in the previous cohort, right? So when she spoke of how things had been for her, right, including the whole curriculum, right, and apart from that, the opportunities that come in, right, the kind of cohort profile that exists here. So that was something that drove me towards Masters Union primarily, right? As I mentioned, I wanted to write GMAT because primarily I initially had a target that I want to do ISB over IIMs, right? Also the fact that this is a 16-month program, so it gives me that bandwidth of not extending my MBA for a couple of years, but rather being able to finish up in the given time frame as well.
So tell me a little bit, now that you've spent a lot of time here. How many 4 months you into the program?
Yeah, almost 5
4
months.
to 5 months into the program. So are you satisfied with your expectations, because you have had good opportunity cost? In your case, maybe your work experience and salary could also be one. So how do you find life at Masters Union? Are both of you are from Delhi, so do you commute from your home or do you stay also nearby? Tell us everything so that an aspirant knows.
Sure.
The life at Masters.
So at Masters Union, you have both the options, right? Either opting for an hostel or staying at your place as well as a day scholar. So I myself am a day scholar only, so I commute from my home daily, right? And in terms of life here, it's of course like any other B school, it's very hectic, right? And it's even more so hectic. Why? Because here, apart from your in-class activities that you do traditionally in any other IIM or ISB for that matter, here you're also working on your out-class challenges, right? For example, in term 1, we had a dropshipping challenge, which is wherein you basically have to source products, right? Any products, and build a dropshipping business of your own, right? And bare minimum, the passing criteria was to do 10 lakhs of revenue. And I'm glad to say that my team was one of the top 3 teams. We did about 25 lakh of revenue in 2.5 months, right? So that was what we had in initial couple of months, right? Post which we have now very recently started working on our VIP challenge also, which is nothing but venture initiation program, which is wherein you have to build startup and is a mandate, as a part of your outclass program. So while you're learning the concepts in class, you're actually applying them on your business as real time. That's something that's very I would say an element that has stood out for me so far as well, right? So just to give you one instance, right, during drop shipping, during one of the class that we were attending, so it was a product management class, right? And in those 2 hours, we did about 30,000 of sales online through our website that happened. So we were sitting in class, but the orders were coming in because everything had been done prior, right? So just to see that, your efforts of, what you're learning in class is actually getting, materialized real time was something very fruitful and something I cherished so far for myself.
Mithil, I was talking to Mehak and she told me that a lot of startup founders maybe or CXOs, they come, they also teach you and then they give you live projects. For example, a day in solving a problem. Correct. So ऐसा कुछ आपने solve किया है, if you could talk about
it. Right. A lot of CXOs come and they are from very different backgrounds. Like, it's not like everybody is coming from tech companies. It's like the CEO of Raw was here, CEO of InfoEdge was here. Right, recently collaboration with PwC, so the Chief Digital Officer was here, right? And there was a CEO of Coinbase as well, right? So blockchains, every field was covered. Now recently we had a live project with LiveSpace, right? And I was fortunate enough to win that competition and got a live project with LiveSpace.
Can you talk about his live project?
So live project was more about how people who come to LiveSpace to buy furniture or get their home problems solved, right? They are getting an end-to-end service, and how would they opt for a loan transfer,
Okay.
right? So that was something that I had to pitch, as in how the optimal solution would look like. And when I won the competition, I was asked to execute the same. And similarly, when the CXOs come, right, we have a small 15 to 20 minutes AMA sessions with them, right, which is among the crowd. You can just ask questions and you can interact with them as well. And the team here also supports if you are building in a similar space and want some mentorship from there, then we can build personal connects with these top CXOs, which is very good for people who are just 25, 26 years old, right? So having these kind of network is extremely crucial and helpful to build us.
And maybe just to add to that, right? So in terms of live projects only, right? So I myself have been working on a couple of live projects. One I recently finished. So it was with a VC called Carrot Capital, right? We were helping them build a culture handbook, right? So that was something.
Culture handbook.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was very interesting because I don't really come from an HR background, but to learn, or again, to apply the organizational concepts that you learn in class, right, on real time on a project, right? So that was very interesting to see. So second live project that I've been working on here is about VMart, right? So we are working with them in helping them build a competitive strategy to one of their biggest competitors, right? So that's again something which is wherein I have to go to these stores, talk to their store managers, do some primary research, build in those hypotheses, then also crunch in data, right, and bring in real-time insights to deliver, right, to the CXOs that we're working with directly.
So will I be wrong if I say that at any point of time every student works at least one live project?
I mean, primarily, yes, we have enough opportunities. So we also have, the concept of one-day challenges, which is nothing but wherein MU, within your assignments for any subject, collaborates with an organization, right, and helps you or makes you solve that real problem, right, instead of maybe, creating a case themselves.
Which is why what I was asking about. So इसमें कौन-कौन से companies have startups have come? If you could talk about.
So PwC was one. So I was one of the, like my team was one of the winner for PwC as well, right? We were helping or building a GTM strategy, right, for one of their clients, right? So that was a one-day challenge we had. So which is wherein, yeah, then there was Make My Trip as well. And he mentioned about Live Space. That was another, right? So very recently we also had for Chrysalis, right? So that's a edtech company. Again, we are working on that as well.
Great. Now, both of you are non-engineers. I know it's not a...
No, I'm an aerospace engineer.
Okay, but you work in sales and marketing.
Yeah.
Generally, predominantly Indian-based schools, you generally see a lot of engineers with work in the IT service companies. So I'm talking to only both of you right now. So is this a reflection of your batch as well? Do you have a lot of students coming with varied work from varied backgrounds?
Since CAT is not a compulsion here, right? I thought it might be a hindrance to the batch quality, but surprisingly, MU has surprised me, right? Because it's a very variety of batches. There are doctors here, there are lawyers here,
okay,
right? Then there are fashion designers here, there are content creators here, right? Which in our batch, right? There are a lot of CAs over here, right? CA, CFA cleared, right? There are engineers, people from economics background, professional gamers, esports players, professional poker players, right? So now people are coming from every industry. Now, if I'm trying to build in something, I just have to go to that person who is in my batch itself and gain detailed insights about the industry, right? So it becomes very easy. So I'm trying to build something, right? And there's a very fresh culture of working on case competitions over here, which I feel is much more than any regular IIMs, because I have a lot of friends in IIMs and I don't see them working on these case competition non-stop or different things, right? So here we get to network around because the case competition deadlines end at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. We are spending nights together with each other, and we always try that we team up with different people, so that the network effect gets strong every time, right? So now people are coming from different backgrounds. They bring different insights as well, right? So I mean, the entire batch is it's a very diverse batch, to be honest, and it is extremely lovely to interact with every one of them.
Now I have one question which I have decided I'll ask every MU student at least, because you have so many options that you can do after passing out from this program. Right. So what are you looking out when you pass out from MU? Do you want to start your own venture? Are you looking at a job? If you're looking at a job, what kind of a job are you looking at, if you could talk about it?
Sure. So, I mean, in my case, right, so we are building a startup in men workwear space, right? So currently the idea is to go and scale that, right? So even though it is a part of your academic curriculum that you have to do it, but we and my team basically, we want to passionately pursue it, right? So that's primarily the goal. But in terms of job, right, as you mentioned, just in case, say, if we want to still consider that option, so I'm looking probably for a consulting role, right? So I'm interning with one of the big consulting companies this summer, right? And yeah, let's see basically.
And you already have an experience pre-MBA work ex also in consulting.
Correct, yes. So that aligns well for me.
Could you talk about a few firms which you were looking at, which have come in the previous years? We have our placement report coming up.
Yeah,
today,
sure. So we had BCG earlier this year. We had Carney also, right? So
So a lot of big names do come.
correct, yes.
What are you looking at?
Actually, to be honest, I'm not looking for placements over here. I joined MU because I wanted to build something, and MU seemed like a perfect platform for someone who is actually building something, right? So here I've come and I've opted out of placements.
You already opted out of placements.
Yeah, that was a huge risk that I took. But frankly, it is going much better, and it at the back of my head that I know that there's no backup. So I build very strongly on it. Right, so here I'm trying to build a marketplace of marketing agencies for interior designers, building material suppliers, etc.
No, but good. Meg told me that students have already took the path that you want to take, and a lot of students have also got funding, already seed round funding. So that's a great.
True.
And now I'm sitting with two students of Masters Union. They have totally different profiles, and this is just a reflection of the kind of students that enter Masters Union and the variety of students that you meet. So I have Kanishk and Moxses. Please tell us about your backgrounds in short, if you can.
Hi guys. So I went to the US for my undergrad after completing my 12th in India. I went to Reed College, which is also where Steve Jobs went, and the physics curriculum over there was designed by Dr. David Griffiths, who will also design the IIT curriculums. And over there it was a really good experience, but I'm actually having a better time after completing my undergraduate, coming to India, working for 3 years at delivery, and then being at Masters Union.
So you were in the US.
Yes.
You came back to India, worked in delivery as a data scientist.
As a data scientist.
And now you're doing your MBA, PGP from Masters Union.
Yes.
Great. What about you, Moxses?
So after completing my 12th, I started pursuing chartered accountancy course along with my graduation, and I also scored AIR 48 in CA foundation level.
AIR 48 rank in CA foundation. Wow, great.
After completing chartered accountancy course, I started pursuing career in investment banking profile for a year, and meanwhile I found myself that I come from a very business oriented background family. So I
Gujarati proper family. Yeah.
So Surti. So I also wanted to step into my entrepreneurial journey. So I appeared for CAT and I scored 99.9 percentile. Then I came across to Masters Union College, and I found their course very aligned with my entrepreneurial passion. So then I pursued.
तो you said you finished, you are a chartered accountant, आप CA हो, आपने CA के बाद 1 साल काम किया, आपके 99.6 percentile आए,
99.9.
99.9 percentile आए, I'm sorry. And तो कौन से 20 schools convert होंगे? It's a big percentile, आप CA भी थे.
Yeah, I am Bangalore, I am Calcutta, I am Kozhikode, and I converted, I am Joka.
You converted Joka, I am Bangalore.
No, I converted Calcutta, but I was shortlisted from Bangalore, Calcutta,
I am
and
Calcutta
Kozhikode.
छोड़ के Masters Union आए.
हाँ.
Now this is my main question. Why did you choose Masters Union over something like IIM Calcutta? Kanishk, you already had a very good, I think, education background and you're working as a data scientist.
Yeah.
So your opportunity cost was this great profile. Data scientist is one of the, I think it's the profession of the century. By
Especially
Harvard.
with the AI.
Yeah. So both of you had high opportunity costs, big opportunity costs. Why did you choose Masters Union? आप बताओ पहले.
So I had IIM Calcutta and Masters Unions offered at the table, but the reason I chose Masters Union because I wanted to step into my entrepreneurial journey while doing my MBA itself. To be very frank, if I pursued IIM Calcutta, then it is very academically rigorous course wherein I had to pursue job only. So I prefer Masters Union, and currently we are at third term, and I have already done dropshipping business, and I have also started my new venture.
Great, wow. And so I would want to know from you, जो मैंने पूछा उसके अलावा, what is the difference? Do you see any difference because you've had 4 years of international US education? So do you see Masters Union also live up to that kind of an expectation? If someone expects, you would have expected that. And of course, why did you choose Masters?
Absolutely. So again, my expectation was like a world-class education, world-class professors, also who are sourced internationally. So we have some faculty from NASA's Dr. Ed Rogers, then we have the world's expert, Dr. Garrick, who comes from America to teach cryptocurrency and other economic models, right? So I'm used to world-class, like world-leading, like I was taught history by the world's expert on Sparta. I want that caliber of instructions when I'm trying to actually learn about the business world, and that's exactly what I got. Now, in terms of my experience at Masters Union has actually been better because those institutions are 200, 100 years old. They're a bit dated. Masters Union is cutting edge in terms of infrastructure technology. Also, this campus, at a corporate park, you won't get something like this abroad. Yeah.
Very true. And what made you choose, to do an MBA and PGP program from Masters Union, leaving data scientist job that you have? Because it does not really need an MBA per se, is what I know of.
It does not, but actually you'd be surprised to know that the data and analytics roles actually convert some of the highest CTCs at Masters Union, right? Because you're coming from a natural science background, you don't have that business knowledge. And actually being in this cohort of like business-minded people, see, ultimately data science is just a tool to deliver business value, to solve customer needs, right? So you need that business impact. And when you have it's actually called the tech PGP, right? A tech-centric PGP, you seamlessly integrate these two worlds together, and the experience is so much more holistic. You're like a more complete data scientist, even if all you want to do is data scientist.
Such a lovely answer. So I was talking to Mehak, and she told me there are various touch points, more than traditional B schools at Masters Union, which you do with recruiters, potential recruiters, before your final placements, before you pass out from the college, and maybe even start your own venture. Could you talk about these touch points in detail?
Right. So there's several touch points, right? Like, for example, first there's obviously like the academic courses, right? And now these are, again, as I said, world-class professors. But it's not just that. It's like the fireside chats, right? This is, again, organized by the college, considered part of the main curriculum. And they actually develop these soft skills, or they tell you, how are we going? How do we progress further? And feedback is not on like a weekly basis, monthly basis, yearly basis. It's day to day, that feedback and iteration cycle. So it's so much better. Then finally, of course, we have CEPs and internships, right? These companies around term 3, term 4, they start coming in, start giving you live experience. You actually get academic credit for this live experience. So
what are CEP? Could you talk about them?
Yeah, so CEP is a career enhancement practicum. This happens around the later end of the day when you're done with academic classes, so around 6 to 9 p.m. Right, and then we have actual practicing industry experts, right, who are actually in day jobs by day, but they come and teach at night, and they tell you, okay, this is how the industry has changed, this is how we want you to do in your interview prep, this is the new tool that's come on the market, we need you to inculcate that now. So every day you're getting updated. So when you graduate, it's not like you're dated even by a year.
Great, great. I've decided to ask this question to every Masters Union student.
Yes.
Because there's so many options you can do after you pass out. What do you want to do after you pass out? You said you have an entrepreneurial ambition. Yeah.
So after I said earlier, I have already started my entrepreneurial journey, and I wish to continue that only in consumer space.
Great. What about you?
So now I felt I was lacking in the management skills necessary to build and inculcate talent in new budding data scientists. I saw myself a lot in new internee data scientists, but I lacked the managerial skills and the business knowledge. Now, equipped with that, at Masters Union, I plan to build teams and build data science capabilities in companies that are starting out fresh and really want to become an intelligence hub.
Great. I'm really astonished and happy by the fact that how sorted you are by what you want out of your MBA. Thank you and all the best.